Because of the way the system worked, it was always hard to gauge an F's ability, but the strong would usually move quickly through the ranks. Therefore, travelers seemed to care less for power level and often looked at rank instead. "Our rank Ds die often out in missions. Why the need to tell me?" Jack asked. "Well, sir, this one was received from one of the military bases, and it was one of our hopefuls named Ian." Jack sat there and thought about it for a while. It was usual for him to get reports from other families and organizations when they found the dead bodies of his family. They wanted to do anything to get on his good side. What troubled him, though, was the person who had actually died. To give a person an ability that he had taken away, he had to touch them and meet them in person. The low-level abilities he usually didn't remember too much. But he remembered giving Ian quite a handy ability. He had also only taken a year to go from rank F to a rank D, and was hoping for better things for him in the future. "Send me the report. I'd like to take a look." The female then clicked a device in her hand, and in an instant a holographic display appeared in front of Jack. He used his hands to navigate through the pages and quickly read through the information. There were also some pictures attached of Ian's body. "Whoa, what a bad way to die," Ian said as he looked at the picture of his body cut in half. But then he spotted something that interested him and started to zoom in, right on Ian's neck. "Alexa, bring me up the report from 2 years ago on Danny Fletchman." "Report has been found," his computer system said as it brought up another file. He looked through them once again and noticed that another family member had the same mark on his neck. Usually, Jack wouldn't remember details like this, but Danny Fletchman was a level 8 user and was a B-rank traveler. One of the strongest men that the Truedream had in their family. When he had died, it had come to a shock to him, and no one knew who or what had done it. Could these two cases be linked somehow? He thought. Apparently, they coincidentally came across Ian when they were out looking for 2 students. I don't know much of the details. "Do you know what military base they are from?" The worker then placed her hand on her glasses, and images could be seen in the reflection. Words and articles started scrolling past her eyes. "Military base 2, sir." "Perhaps it's time I pay a visit to them. It has been a while, and I could find out more information. In the meantime, find out what you can about Ian's last mission." Jack then stood up from his chair and closed his eyes. Inside of him, he could see around 10 little flames swirling around his stomach. Each of them looked slightly different from the others. "It looks like I'm running low on abilities again. I guess it would also be a good chance to stock up as well." With morning lessons over and done with, it was time for combat lessons to start. Layla had come over with Aaron by her side to Quinn. They weren't exactly friends now, as the two didn't really talk much. In fact, Aaron didn't really say much at all to anyone. However, over the last few days after searching for Peter together, they started to hang around each other more often. They'd also practiced as a team together beforehand, and for the first time, Aaron had actually called Layla by her name. These were all huge steps forward in Layla's eyes, and before they knew it, the two of them would naturally just be around each other. The 3 of them headed off to the beast weapons class, while Vorden had already left for the elemental class. Now sitting in the room all alone was Peter, just blankly staring at the wall in front of him. Even his fake friends were no longer talking to him at the canteen. Earl and his gang had been avoiding him ever since Aaron had threatened them. They had also already gotten their use out of him and no longer needed him anymore. Peter continued to sit there and think back at all the stupid things he had done. If only he had done this differently, why did he decide not to ask for help? Why did he agree to help them at the time? It had hurt back then and felt like he was going through hell, but right now he couldn't even remember what the pain felt like. As all these thoughts ran through his head, he started clenching his hair in his hands. Every time a stupid memory came up, he would pull his hair, trying to forget it, as if he was pulling the memories out of his head. "Why?" Peter shouted, as he pulled out a clump of hair. "Why?" he said again, pulling out another. His hands were now filled with parts of his hair. He could feel something running down from the top of his head. He had pulled so hard and so much hair that blood was starting to drip from his scalp. As Quinn was just about to leave the second-year building to head to the Beast Weapons Hall, he paused for a second right by the exit. This whole time he had been back, not once had he set foot outside in the sun, and for the first time he would be doing so now. He had asked the AI system repeatedly what the effects were, but he would never tell him. "Calm down, Quinn. You already know you won't die, so what's the worst that could happen?" "Hey, Quinn, is everything okay?" Layla asked, noticing he had stopped just by the exit. "Yeah, I'm fine," Quinn said as he took a step forward. Bang! Instantly the effect of the sun had hit him. The rays affected him more than ever, and a pounding feeling was heard in his head. He stumbled a little, but soon caught himself. It took him a few moments, but he finally adjusted to the sudden feeling. "You are being hit by direct sunlight. All stats will be reduced by 70%. 70? Are you freaking kidding me?" Quinn shouted in his head. Now, calm down," the system replied. "I thought you would act like this, so I didn't want to say anything. At least I had a chance of fighting in the sun before. I thought if I increased my stats to at least 20, sucked a few people here and there, I'd be like a normal person in the sun. What am I meant to do now?" "Well, honestly, I never really had this problem before. Back at the kingdom, we had plenty of items that stopped the sun from affecting us. Just take a look at your inventory. That ring you were looking at is given to the weakest of our men." The system was suddenly revealing a lot more information due to the outburst. Whenever Quinn would ask the system who he was, or if there were other vampires out there, he would ignore him and pretend he never heard. However, Quinn needed to deal with one problem at a time, and right now, and the sun was an urgent one. "Look, I can see you're depressed," the system said. "How about this?" He then opened up Quinn's menu and went to show him the Shadow Skills tab. Out of the 10 skills, 3 had been unlocked, but 7 were still grayed out. "You just want to be able to fight in the sun, right? You see, the skill named Shadow Void, it costs a total of 20 skill points. I would recommend you unlock that next. This skill allows you to create your own space of shadows, blocking it from not only the sun, but outside viewers as well." Although it wasn't a permanent solution to Quinn's problem, it was a solution. While Quinn struggled to walk, Layla quickly came over and pulled out an umbrella over his head. She had kept it on her at all times for situations like these. "Vorden, looks like I'm needed more than you after all," Layla thought. Suddenly, Quinn started to feel a lot better. "The sunlight is being blocked. All stats will return to normal." "Do you guys have to be lovey-dovey in front of me?" Erin said as she saw the two walking under the umbrella. "We're not a couple. He's just feeling sick. The sun gives him heat stroke easily." "What a wimp," Erin said as she walked off ahead. Quinn didn't know why, but Erin's words always seemed to sting a bit more compared to when others said it to him. The 3 of them had finally arrived at the Marshall Hall and no longer needed the umbrella. Once again, as he entered, he started to feel his heart beating faster than ever. He was nervous. The reason was simple. It was because of Leo. For some reason, Leo had asked him that the next time the two of them met, to speak to him. Although Leo did say that he wouldn't hurt him, those words didn't exactly reassure him. The classes had begun as normal, with Leo asking the students to warm up by sparring with each other, but once again Leo had asked Layla to step away, as Leo wanted to be his opponent. Leo then took Quinn to the corner of the room, away from the others, making sure they couldn't hear their conversation. "Thank you for saving me in the portal world," Quinn said first, hoping to get on his good side by sucking up to him. "I was just doing my job. What happened to your gauntlets? There's no energy emitting from your hand." "They broke in the portal world. I'm sorry, I'll pay you back." Leo raised his hand, telling Quinn to stop speaking. "Boy, there is no need. Those weren't expensive in the first place. But for something to break some beast gear, you must have fought against some beasts then." Quinn started to laugh nervously. He wasn't prepared for this and didn't really know how to answer. "Oh no, one of those rat beasts jumped at me, and all I did was lift my hand trying to protect myself. The beast wouldn't let go, so I had no choice but to take them off and run." "I see," Leo said as he stood there silent for a moment. "Quinn, do you know they say when someone goes blind their sense of hearing improves? Now let me be the first to tell you that is all a myth. However, my ability does improve my senses, and I can hear your heart beating ever so loudly." Quinn gulped as he was afraid of what the old man might say next. "Do you also know, they say that when a person is lying, their heartbeat changes ever so slightly, and they start to sweat more? Now, Quinn, the truth is, I don't care what you are, but I only have one question to ask you. Are you on the humanities side?"
Subscribe to the Pocket FM Blockbuster YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notifications. Check out our channel for more exciting shows.